Right, I'm just going to take you through how my online presentations and lessons work. I use Adobe Connect to teach private lessons over the internet, also to conduct lessons for my classes. What I'm going to do is, this is a typical revision class I do for my own class at school in the holidays. I have a welcome area which tells them what's going on, what I'm going to be looking at, how long the lesson will last, what they can do while they wait, and what they should download. And they have a timer, how long there's going to be before the lesson will begin. In this case, it's 5 minutes. I've actually just set this up. I've already done the lesson. I'm just showing you through it. And here's some documents for the students to download and print out so they can use them in the lesson. 2 of these documents actually were from previous lessons that some of the students missed, so I put them back in here so they could download them. And some were for today to do in this lesson. There's a chat area so we can get the students can have a chat while they're waiting, ask questions, or even post some questions, specific questions for me in the chat area. There's also an area for them to choose. In this case, was to choose topics. Okay, there were topics they wanted to choose, and I got them to choose their 4 top topics they wanted to revise in that session, and I chose the most popular 4 to go through. And this lets you know who's in the room, who's attending, so I can see all of that. And this is a sort of waiting area while you're waiting for the lesson to happen. Right, once the lesson starts, I tend to use OneNote to, because it's a document I can share. I can share the document. Students can actually have a look at the document online as well. So students who can access to my lessons get access to the OneNote and shared documents. So that's all in the internet, and they can go straight to that and look at that after the lesson. So there's no difficulty with them looking at live answers and going back and reviewing my answers. Once you get to my lessons, you get access to my OneNote documents as well. So there you can look at the answers later on. And you can see here, I've just gone for a question. I'm just going to actually make some annotations on it, just rub some things out. So you can see that actually it updates live in the lesson. Often when I set students a question to do, I'll put a timer on the question, and that sort of adds a little bit of tension, a bit of pressure, which sort of simulates more what it's like to be in an exam, knowing you're doing a question against a time. So I leave a little bomb timer going quite often during a question when I get setting the question to do. Just going to get rid of that. Over the right-hand side, list of people in the room. What I can do is I can give people access to a mic. I would click on that and then change that to access the mic. And I might have one student asking the questions during the session. If you put your hand up, there's a little thing here to put a hand up in a lesson, raise hand there. Okay, what that allows you to do is you don't get something or something's not quite right, you can put up your hand. I can either allow you to speak, okay, or it possibly just draws my attention to what a Q&A question and answer session. Now I've got chat in here because it's just a small group that we all really know each other very well. I normally put a question and answer in here, so you ask your questions privately, only I see them, and then I send the answers back to you. I may type them, or I may go into the lesson and deal with questions in the lesson. Generally, questions of that type I deal with at the end of a question once I've gone through it, to not disrupt the flow of the question for the other students. Down here you can see I've kept the quiz on here, so I can just check what the topics we want to do. There also on this section, the status. If you want me to speak loud or speed up or whatever, your status will appear in here as well. And then when the lesson finishes, we have the end session where you give me your feedback. You type in feedback in here. Anything you want to cover in the future, I can put into here. You can type into here. I've got the chat room still open, gives people a chance to still talk about the questions. There's the opportunity to once again download any materials that were used in the lesson. Okay, this blank pop down here, I might leave some links up to the videos which will be relevant to the session. Okay, for this session I didn't put any links in, so that blank area is normally links to videos that will be relevant to the session for students to go and look at. And after the session, I record the whole lesson. You can watch the whole lesson back on video over on the internet after the session as well. I hope that gives you a better flavour for what an online lesson may be like with me, and look forward to helping you in the future.